Now at 5:30, tensions and controversy at an elementary school in Essex County.
A second grade girl who is Muslim wore her hijab to class every day. She was told by the teacher to take it off.
But when the girl didn't take it off, the teacher ripped it off her head right in front of the class. The reaction? You can just imagine.
Why do we have to imagine? Isn't this a news broadcast? And isn't the overreaction the real story here?
To a family's outrage over what they say happened to their daughter in school. A teacher in New Jersey accused of pulling off the hijab off the head of a 7-year-old Muslim girl.
All the newscasts missed this story. An elementary school teacher is receiving threats. She's under police protection because of rumors about a hijab.
The New Jersey chapter of the Council on American Islamic Relations comparing the alleged incident to harassment and assault.
The hijab is much like any other article of clothing for a Muslim woman. To remove that publicly can be very humiliating. Anyone that thinks it's okay to do this to a student clearly is not fit to be a teacher.
The Council on American Islamic Relations also speaking out.
Having her being removed from the classroom is the bare minimum.
The executive director for the Council on American Islamic Relations calling for the teacher to be fired, adding in a statement, Muslim students already deal with bullying from peers. It's unthinkable that a teacher would add to their distress. Islamophobia in our public schools must be addressed in New Jersey and nationwide. Classrooms are a place for students to feel safe and welcome, not fear practicing their faith.
Now there is an investigation. CAIR, the Council on American Islamic Relations, a civil rights advocacy group for Muslims, is calling for the teacher's removal.
So the teacher not only put her hands on her, removed her headscarf, and this is, of course, humiliating for any Muslim woman to be exposed in this way in public.
And only in a broader context does CAIR have something to do with this story, because they were involved in a similar incident only 50 miles south of Maplewood in Toms River, New Jersey. It was there that CAIR took offense to Dan Leonard's Facebook page.
Members of an Islamic relations organization are calling for a Board of Education member in Toms River, New Jersey to step down after they were alerted to his anti-Muslim post on Facebook.
Its latest case is extreme.
This kind of mockery that was exhibited is very intimidating and, not indicative of the kind of nurturing environment we want our children to grow up in.
Suze is talking about these Facebook posts he says are racist and anti-Muslim, posted by Dan Leonard, a Toms River Board of Education member. The posts depict two Muslim congresswomen, Ilhan Omar and Rashida Tlaib. One says, quote, terrorist 100%. The other is a repost of an article about Tlaib's potential hunger strike that says, quote, my life would be complete if she/they die. But Suze says it's the third post that is deeply problematic.
It definitely implied that she had been the victim of domestic violence and was possibly going to be the victim of a stoning, which are some common screeds that people use to, defame Muslims. He's not backing down. He's not apologizing. He's not even, insinuating that there's something wrong about it. The Board of Education needs to ask for his resignation.
When Leonard didn't move fast enough, CAIR unleashed a torrent of hate speech against the Toms River School Board, and Leonard's underage daughter was the target of rape threats. But CAIR said nothing to calm things down. Exactly what we have going on today. That is the news story.
We have some new information about a New Jersey teacher accused of ripping a hijab off a second grader's head. The traditional headscarf, part of the Muslim religious and cultural identity. The incident involving the teacher, Tamar, Herman, is under investigation at Seth Boyden Elementary School in Maplewood. Tonight, her attorney says this never happened. She says, in part, in accordance with school policy, Ms. Herman directed a student in her class to pull down the hood on a hooded sweatshirt because it was blocking her eyes. And the teacher immediately rescinded that request, according to the attorney, when she realized that the student was wearing the hood in place of, rather than on top of, her usual hijab.
The family is now working with a lawyer to get the teacher fired.
After the teacher defended herself on TV, the child's lawyer retaliated. He went public with an irrelevant letter from 2017 to insinuate there was something wrong with the teacher.
If this is a situation where there was prior knowledge, where there is prior information that this teacher had some problems, then that's something that the school should have dealt with.
He then went on to claim that he had proof of what happened in the classroom.
The version that our student is told, the fact that the teacher removed that hijab forcefully, we've been able to confirm that that is true.
But he doesn't have proof. He has the testimony of a child. CAIR tried this previously in a case where they tried to weaponize the accusations of a child. The Department of Education discounted the testimony of the other children due to the amount of coaching that was involved in eliciting their testimony.
Parents of a fourth grader say their son was forced to watch other students eat at his Brooklyn school while he was observing a religious fast. Now they want someone held accountable.
She humiliated him. She emotionally abused him. She used his religion as a form of punishment.
Al-Jami's parents say in May, during the month of Ramadan, a holy time for Muslims when they fast each day, their son was punished by a school staff member at PS 264.
She claimed that my son was laughing or mocking her in some way, which he wasn't. So she stated to him in front of all his friends, "Since you are laughing, I will make you sit in the cafeteria."
Muslim students otherwise spend the lunch break in a different room.
Just to imagine my son sitting in that cafeteria alone, scared, helpless.
I felt sad, depressed, and angry. I mostly felt sad because I have to sit there, watch people eat while I'm fasting.
The Department of Education has released a statement on this matter and said that the complaint was unsubstantiated and cited not enough evidence because the employee denied ever making such a statement as, "You will sit in the cafeteria and watch all the kids eat while you are fasting." Although 4 students had testified that the employee did make the statement to the boy, the DOE discounted the corroboration of the other students because their memory needed prompting. Why isn't Attorney Tarver cooperating with the school and now police investigation?
Now, the school district is reminding folks that social media is not a reliable forum for due process, and staff members involved are entitled to that before action is taken. They add that they must abide by their legal obligations to keep personnel and student matters confidential.
We don't know what happened in the classroom, but what we do know is that the school and the teacher are receiving threats. Tamar Herman is under police protection because of a rumor about a hijab. And we also know that the only ones doing these hijab crisis stories are the Council on American Islamic Relations.